Okay, so we took a flight today from Newark Liberty Airport in New Jersey and to Dallas Fort Worth. And it was at the airport at Newark. Yep. At the Newark airport, you go in, there was zero health screenings of any kind. It was just almost like business as usual, nothing crazy. Everything was pretty simple and easy. There was more people there than there had been at JFK. JFK was like super quiet. Here, at least at Newark, they had a Hudson News. I think I posted a video earlier with that was there. That was super exciting, but it was just pretty basic. And when it came time to boarding, basically our entire flight was full. There was only the two back rows of the plane that were apparently set aside for the flight attendants, which I don't understand why. I think it was to space them, even though they have chairs in the back. Like, don't they have their normal chairs? So, like, why would they need to? They told other people who asked if they could move that no, they couldn't sit there because they were reserved for flight attendants. So I think it was just to keep them at a healthy distance from people. I don't know. Then there was on board. You had a bag, this little white bag of snacks because no longer, well, at least I don't know if they're going to change this and keep it this way because it's easy for them. But everyone upon entering the plane got a little white bag, like the kind that you get at like Michael's, like if you're going to make a craft bag, just like a plain little crappy white bag, with a water bottle and a little snack for the 4-hour flight. No service, no nothing, no. It's just a little bottle of water. And it was fine though. And then
everyone got a goodie bag just for participating.
Yeah, Sean said everybody got a goodie bag just for coming. Doesn't even matter, first class, second class, third class, whatever class you are. We all got the same goodie bag. We were all equals. And then during the flight, there was an announcement that when the flight attendants came by, they said very sternly, please be aware that anyone who's not wearing a mask needs to put one on, as this is like a requirement. Anyway, it was much more formal than that, but put your damn masks on, people, is what they were saying. So apparently some people were not wearing their masks and they weren't eating. Now you are allowed to not wear your masks again while you're eating and drinking. So like you could get away with not wearing a mask at all if you ate and drank the entire flight. I mean, like ate and drank the entire flight. So, I mean, that's something that you could conceivably do. But yeah, you have to constantly be putting food in your mouth. And they again stated that that is the only time you may have the mask off. I took it off every so often just to kiss the baby. Then when we were getting ready to land, the rule was, they said that you are just to wait to stand until the row in front of you has stood and left, so that there's no crowding. Please stay in your seats until and we were in the very back. We were right at the very back, so the third from the back row. So we knew we were going to be last anyway, and Sebastian fell asleep. But bitches all stood up. Everybody freaking stood up. Nobody. It's like when they give the flight attendants are up there and they're giving their whole blah 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 blah, and nobody listens. I mean, like if there's plane accidents and emergency landings, like no one's ever going to know what to do because they're going to try to think, oh, well, I've heard it one time before 10 years ago. I mean, Sean and I have heard it 9 million times, and I mean, I know I'm supposed to. Oh, this is my favorite part. This is my favorite part of the spiel in the beginning. I got to tell you this. So, in the beginning, when they're doing the whole thing. Then they said, when the mask falls, make sure to take your mask off before you put your other mask on. And I actually giggled out loud because I don't think anyone else was listening. Sean wasn't listening because he looks at me and he goes, what? I go, you didn't hear that? And so I told him what it was, and it was like, you would think, like, duh, like, if you're going to put another mask on, maybe you should take that one on. But that's an excuse, too, to not have to wear your mask, is if there's an emergency and that thing drops, the mask drops, you can put that on and take your other mask off. So you're trading one mask for another, but whatever. Then they give out these forms from, everyone is supposed to fill it out if Texas is your last stop, meaning you're not moving on or you're just here for a trip and have to go back for something.
Very important.
It was super important. Everyone had to come up, get one. It was 2 pages. The first page was all these, I don't think they're laws because they're obviously not freaking laws because laws aren't passed on this yet, right? I don't know. Every state's different. But we had agreed to quarantine for 14 days if this was our last stop. Immediately, we had a list where we were quarantining at, our address, our driver's license, and passport information if we had it. Like, I mean, it was stuff. So I was freaking out because we're not quarantining for 14 days. We're doing something. And so, and while Texas is our last stop flight-wise, but it's like not our last stop. So we were like, I'm not going to fill this out and lie because I don't like lying and I like following rules and I don't like getting in trouble. And so I filled out this like, we're going to be doing this and this and this. And so we're not really good. And so anyway, I was a little nervous. So when we were deplaning, they, had told you to bring your form. We got off the plane. There was no one checking temperatures. There was no one even seeing that anyone was getting off the plane. Our gate was completely like, no one was even at the end of the gate. No one was there to collect these forms, and I was just going to say like, oh, Texas is not our last stop. And I was just going to say we were going to head to Seattle. So I was going to lie because I was not going to turn in this bullshit form signed up saying something. So anyway, but we're safe. Like, we were masked and we put lots of stuff in our hand. We're not going to endanger anyone purposely. Anyway, that was what happened. So we got out, got our rental car, came to our hotel, ordered Uber Eats and Cold Stone. Sean is happily eating his Cold Stone right now. And there you go. And Sebastian is finally just nice and cozy and relaxed in bed, and he's a happy little camper. So anyway, that was it. I don't know what the hell's up with Dallas-Fort Worth, but like everything is, restaurants are all open here. Like, they're packed. Like, we drove up to our place. We're like, oh! And in this area that we're at, where our hotel is, I mean, nobody is wearing face masks outside. We were the only ones, like, in a 7-Eleven wearing face masks. And a 7-Eleven, I haven't been to a real 7-Eleven, like, where they have Slurpees, since we left California last year. So, anyway, we were eating a Cold Stone, and we got Taco Bell, because why not? So, that's what happened at the airport. I think all this pandemic stuff and the wearing masks, and I think it's great that everyone is washing their hands more, thank God. I also think that it is good for people who are sick. Wear your freaking mask, and if you're worried about getting sick, wear a freaking mask. But everybody else, there's some bubble space. Stay out of people's freaking bubbles. But I just think that some of this stuff is overkill right now, and I mean, this is being in another country and coming to this one and seeing how irregular, like, everyone in Poland, like, there were rules and people knew to follow the rules. And in America, not so much, I feel like. Not so much. Maybe that's why so many people got sick. So, while the rules are stupid, as far as I'm concerned, and trying to control them, like, you make us fill out these stupid forms and then you have no one there to collect it. And also, if you were going to collect it, where's all this forms going to go? Are they going to be stacked up somewhere, like, with all these people's information and phone numbers and driver's license information? Like, where is this information going to go? Who's going to store this information? Do they have extra staff? Because as far as I can see, there's less staff. Who the hell is going to manage all these forms and documents? Nobody. So I think it's ridiculous to put in all these rules and everything if it isn't going to be followed up on. And again, it's not a police state. We're not into that. Yep. Why the hell fill out the form if you're not going to fill it out at all? So just so you look good, or you can say that we're doing this, because people aren't tracking shit. We got into this country from Poland. Granted, we belong here. Into New York, into like the worst hit part of the United States. And our temperature was taken, and they said, hey, self-quarantine if you feel like you need to, pretty much. And then we stayed overnight in Airbnb. Then we go to Newark, and kind of the same way. Like, no, there wasn't even a questionnaire. There was nothing to fill out. I mean, there wasn't, we didn't get our temperature taken today. The flight attendants were not wearing mesh, throwaway doctor's outfits today. I mean, it's like each day has progressively become like, open, as far as like, the level of openness in the country. So that's my long ditty about what has happened and transpired today in our second day of flights in the United States. So if you feel like you want to travel, do it now before shit gets crowded. Seriously, if you can travel now, no one's checking shit that I've seen at those 3 airports, so go for it.